What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast networking channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew. I'm talking about Shy, Kelvin, and Jermaine. For everyone who's tuning in, become a subscriber and support Behind the Bench to make the show the best that it can be. Whoo, man, oh man. Look at that. Look at that. 10 players drafted by one team over a 4-year stretch. I'm talking about none other than the Los Angeles Lakers, man. And I look at this, man. Let's go back to the Brooklyn Nets for the 2012-2013 season. New ownership and the GM decided they wanted to try to duplicate what was going on down there in South Beach, Miami. When you had three prime franchise players on one squad. Not two, three. You had, let's say, 2 top 5 players, 3 top 10 players. Talent-wise. Consolidate on one team. Okay. So the Brooklyn Nets try to duplicate that by trading for Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry. 2 surefire first ballot Hall of Famers. Jason Terry, one of the best 6 men of all time. Won the world championship with the Dallas Mavericks in 2011, right? And of course, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, they won the title together in Boston in 2008. To get those 3 players, Brooklyn traded away the rights to 3 first-round picks. It was so mind-blowing. It left you speechless because we never seen the team give up 3 first-round picks like that. The problem was those players that they acquired were past their prime. They had one good year, lost in the Eastern Conference semifinals to the very team that they tried to replicate in the Miami Heat. And the Brooklyn Nets basically sputtered for the next 4 seasons. Okay. Now, let's go to Los Angeles Lakers, right? From 2014 to 2018, including bringing up players from their G League squad, they drafted so deep, they darn near filled an entire roster. Maybe outside of 2 players by the 2018 season, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Brook Lopez. You had the deepest young core in the history of the NBA. And all of them are gone. And it happened in darn near one large swoop. And that's not even counting Taylor Horton Tucker, who was drafted going into the 2019-2020 season. Now he's gone. He was traded to Utah Jazz for Patrick Beverley, who didn't last 6 months, and he was traded to the Orlando Magic for Mo Bamba, who didn't last 3 months. You see where I'm getting at? So this is just a prelude of something that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time that basketball fans need to really listen to. Because contrary to what the so-called experts have been saying, that it was well worth giving up this young talent. Well, we've seen ever since the year of the bubble, that team has been struggling to compete. And it's because what's being proven year by year, they gave up on the deepest and the greatest array of young talent ever drafted by one team over the course of 4 seasons. And that's not even counting Mo Wagner, who was drafted in 2018 and who played on this year's Germany team in the FIBA tournament, who won the gold medal. He contributed to that. He can play too. Thomas Bryant is not in this picture either. Before he injured his knee, his ACL during the 2021 season, he was averaging 17-8 with the Washington Wizards. So when you look at these players here, you got 2 players, and like I said, I'm going to be doing a series on this. You got 2 players who has averaged at some point and at some stretch of their career 25 plus points a game. You got another player who, when he was traded, he was already considered statistically one of the top 3 6 men in basketball. And then 3 years later, as soon as he is traded to a good team, a playoff level team, he wins 6th man of the year. Then you got one player who was drafted, who was projected to be the best pound rebounder in the entire NBA, and he's fulfilling that projection. Then you got a point guard. Once he corrected his shot, he was shooting 40% from 3, 80% from the free throw line, and was becoming the best defender at his position. Becoming the league's first 3-and-D point guard. Then you got a jack of all trades player as a reserve who you can switch out on defense. He can play the small ball at the 5 position, jack of all trades. Right? And then you gave up a center who, if he was featured in the offense consistently, he can get you 18 to 20 points a game, according to his metric. Is averaging double figures in rebounds, has improved on his pick and roll defense, switching out to the primary ball handler on top of the key. Then you gave up on a player who was brought up from the G League, who was leading the league in steals coming off the bench. I can go on and on. We've never seen a franchise give up 2 players who can average 25 points per game or more, and one of those players has the skill to increase that scoring output an additional 3 to 4 points by the time he starts reaching his prime, which is about now. So I'm not going to name the names right now. I'm just showing this picture. But that talent right there, over a 4-year period, is unheard of and never before seen. And they were actually ahead of their time. But what's the rave now? It's no longer veteran players, it's young talent. And they were spearheading the revolutionary movement to build a championship roster with. So I just want to drop that real quick, man. Until next time, this is JB, BTB, Behind the Bench.